I'll show you why. Is done. Okay, this is the EVG 6200. This is an I-line equipment. So our energy here is 365 nanometer, the wavelength of light. So to start with, I'm gonna show you, this is the mouse. This is where we control this one. We have the left click and the right click. So it's either you choose double click or enter. Okay, double click. Software will start. We have a keyboard in here. So when you rename your process, you can do it here. It is only magnet that is holding this one. So you can just pull it out like this. Username is number 3. Password is number 3. Then like alright, now to open up a recipe, you go through here, open recipe, and then each of the standard parameter that we have in spin coater, it has a corresponding parameter in here. Like for example, we use ECI 3027. We have ECI 3027 here, but see, there's a lot of versions already. The one that is standard is the one without the extension name. So this is the standard one. I open it up. So it is running at 200 millijoule centimeter square of energy. So energy varies depending on the thickness, because what we have a term called the depth of exposure, and the depth of exposure varies depending on your thickness. If I change the thickness of my coating, maybe for example from 4 micron I make it 6 micron, then I have 2 micron left if I use 200 millijoules. So you have to increase a bit your energy. So there are two defects here. It's either overexposed or underexposure. So don't overexpose, because sometimes your CD is affected because you are exposing sides that's not supposed to be exposed, and when you expose, remember, positive you remove, then this will be collapse. But if it's negative, you expose the part you don't need, it will expand. So your tolerance will be bigger or smaller. Okay, so look, when I run this job, it is very friendly that it will tell me what to do and it will show me what to do. Now, we have camera on top, we have camera at the bottom. Okay? If there are projects that requires overlay, meaning multiple layer. Okay, from the industry that I came from, we are running around 64 to 120 multiple layer of exposure. So it's a complicated one. So from this wafer that we have, it start with this, an empty wafer, and then you expose layer 1, you etch, you expose layer 2, you etch layer 3, and then until the time that it's already full of patterns in here, that we have to expose at the back as well. So this is capable of exposing backside exposure. So we have camera at the back, and we can align those patterns on top to the bottom part. So we align the backside now to the top one. So when this is already done, that's the time we diced your sample. Another wrong thing students are doing here, they start their process on a dicing process. So they cut their sample in a small pieces, which is very, very wrong. So what we should do is to make an array of design in the mask writer. So your mask, see, that's why this is big. That's why this is 5 inch. It's not because they want it to be 5 inch, because you can put several patterns in here. And now for 4-inch wafer, we expose, so each of the pattern will be exposed here. Then you can run. Imagine if you start dicing this, one run, you will have one sample. But if you have multiple of array, you run the process, so you will have 16 samples, 8 samples, even 32 samples, and then the last part will be dicing. That's the time you dice after your process.
So
In one run, you have 32.
after exposure, you are suggesting slicing, or after completing all
After completing all of
everything,
your
okay.
process.
So while dicing, won't it
Dicing will be on the last part, so when you remove, now that one run, see, one whole run, you have several results already. But sometimes, only sometimes, students are restricted with their material. Like for example, they are buying their gallium oxide material 2-inch or very small, then I cannot do anything about it. It's part of the M, your material. But the ideal one, the optimized one, you start with big, run the whole process, and the last part will be dicing. You will see students running a small sample. Then, so sad. One whole run, one sample. Same energy as another guy with an optimized run. You will see Adele. He's running even 6-inch wafer, full of sample. When he runs his one sample, he go dicing afterwards. He has a lot of samples with the same effort as with that one dice. It's the same effort. Okay? So do that on the big sample and design it properly on the mask. Big mask, and you have a small square here. That's no good. That's a non-optimized process. Okay? So now I will run. See, the tool is very friendly. It's telling you what to do, and it is showing you what to do. So it's telling me insert the UV filter and showing me insert the UV filter here. So some of the process that is done, is being told you to do, is already pre-done. So from here, insert UV filter, we already did it for you. You just have to do press continue. See? And I'll press this continue. Insert the mask holder. This one. The mask holder is already here. Why it's being asked to do so? Because in the past, maybe 10 years ago, we are running much more bigger mask because we have a ASML tool here, a DUV aligner, but we divested it already. So we're only running this type of mask, the big one. It's only Adele using a bigger mask because it's a bigger wafer. So when you're doing a bigger mask, so we're capable of running a big mask here. This is a small, if you put in here, see, it's just a 5-inch mask. We're still capable of running material until 8-inch wafer in this lab. But now most of our user, maybe 99% is using 5-inch. The mass production group, they're using 6-inch, the big one, because they're doing it in production mode already. Alright? So we continue. It's already here, nothing to do. We don't change it this anytime anymore. Continue. Fix the mask holder, showing me just screw this up. It's already screwed. Continue. Shock, it's here. It's also already here. It's here. And insert shock, connect vacuum. It's already connected. See the vacuum? This is the vacuum source. So here, the only thing that is not written is to check the pin. So we have a pin underneath. See that small pin? It should be inside that hole.
Oh.
But because we keep on removing and putting back this fixture, sometimes it becomes like this. So it should be inside the hole. If you will be a common user in the future, you will meet an error saying you vacuum error, vacuum is very low. Then I will just reply to you, kindly check the pin. That is the pin. When it's outside like this, even small misalignment on the vacuum supply here, it will give you a vacuum error. So I will reply to you because our phone is scattered all over the place. They will just send a message. We're encountering vacuum error the tool. I will reply, check the pin. So that's the pin I'm referring to. It should be inside that little hole. See, it should be inside. See, it's no difference when you look it visually. So continue. Now it says insert the load frame. There's another pin here, 2 pins. Make sure it's inside here. Alright. Continue. Insert the mask. So this is the mask. We produce this in the mask writer tool. So when you load, it should be chrome side down, glass side up. So chrome is darker, glass is lighter. Okay? So I'll put it here. There's the name. So when you have a specific name to be on top, make sure you load it this way, because this will be loaded 90 degrees. Okay? Then you have 3 stoppers wherein you can just align your sample on those 3 stoppers.
So we are going to expose the light from top.
Yes, light source is here. So it will be exposed through here. Light will pass through the transparent side. And your wafer will be underneath this material. So I'll continue this one. Move in the tray.
Any reason why the chrome part has to be bottom?
Because it is directly in contact. So the thickness of the mask is around 1 millimeter. So if the chrome will be on top, there will be a gap in between your material and the pattern itself.
If chrome is in contact with my sample, is it already inverted design? I mean mirrored design?
It will be mirror here.
Okay.
So it's whatever is printed here, it's automatically what will be printed there. So mirroring. So if you want it inverted, it will be in the mask writer tool that you can invert your design. So whatever is in here, it's directly 1:1 exposure. This finger, when I expose, it will be that finger. It will not be mirrored like this.
So chrome is on the bottom side because we are trying to get tight tolerance, because chrome will kind of won't allow the light to pass through the sample, right?
The chrome is the one covering the light.
Uh,
And it is the one touching the sample. So it's, but if you reverse it, your chrome is here.
Some side,
There will be a gap in between, so light will bend through that gap.
yeah, got it.
So because this is capable of alignment, this is the time you align. But I won't show you alignment yet until your project done. Okay? So continue. So now my wafer is loaded on the tool. It's there. I follow the instruction. Move out the tray. I remove the load frame now here. Continue. Now I will load a dummy sample. We will expose this later on. Doesn't have any coating yet. So to load, you just to load it here. Alright, continue. Move in my tray. See, the mask will be directly in contact with the wafer. So it's the chrome side that's directly contacting the wafer. At this time, this is the time wherein you can align your mask to your wafer sample. But if it's just one layer, all you have to do is just center it on stage.
So one camera is from the bottom chrome layer, and this is
No,
from
both will be on top.
Okay.
Because if you need alignment, you usually align left and right. So you make sure that your mass is properly aligned with your spacer. You need overlay. When you say overlay, it's layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Overlaying each sample, but it should be properly aligned. So we have to align it using this camera. But if it's only one exposure, then you don't need to align and you just have to click this center stage. So your sample will be just brought to the center. And when you click continue, this will come in and it will expose using the energy that you have set. So we have set 200 millijoules. It will be needing 200 millijoules of energy. So this is energy controlled, not time controlled. But we have lithography that is time controlled. Like for example, nano imprinting lithography, we expose for 5 minutes. Like the flood exposure, we expose for 1 minute. That is time controlled. But photolithography, it's energy controlled. So move out the tray. I remove my substrate. I'm just following the instruction. See, remove. Continue. And it's done already. Then when you're done, you have to remove your mask. So when you want to remove your mask, you just click exit and follow the instruction again. Insert the load frame. Continue. Move in the tray. Move out the tray. And then you click exit. Alright, so what we do now is I will ask you one by one to run this. Alright, so we will be using this for developer. So this is written also in the parameters on the side. I forgot to show you. Let's go come back in. Parameter, so we will develop for around a minute or so using ASA 726. Time varies, some are 60 seconds, some are 6 to 8 minutes, so it varies from substrate to substrate, resist to resist, energy to energy. Alright, this is a guide as well, only baseline, meaning if it's a baseline you can always adjust based on your requirement. Same thing, every bench, a goggles is required. We will be working in a acid bench. We are even required to do the gown. Here, gown is not required. It's fine, I will do the work. I'm always telling the students, be careful. My friend is here. In the past 26 years also, I have a couple of friends who died already. Cancer, leukemia, we have operators that are dead already. So make sure you are very, very careful. You have kids already? Kids. Half of my colleagues know kids. Because during our time, safety is not an urgent matter. They just want to produce. But when the effect is already being felt, that's the time they are very conscious with safety. Make sure it's properly exhaust, controlled, different benches, especially for operators. Our operators, we're working in an industry, so we're building computer hard drives. So it is running, it's reading and writing the data on your computer. Until now, the only difference between then and now is our hard disk drive becoming smaller and smaller. and becoming bigger memory. So in the past, it's one gigabyte. It's very difficult to do already. Now you will see terabytes, and it's reading and writing your data in your sample. The one we're building. So in manufacturing stage, because during our generation, it's the generation we're in. We are doing manual. I don't know if you see a typewriter already. When you
Yeah,
put the
yeah,
paper
I've seen
and
it. I've seen it.
that's
Yes.
the time where we transform from that type of system to a computer. You print now, but it's that matrix. The printing last time was that matrix. So that's the time of the transition. So imagine everyone now has a computer in their house. Everyone now has a laptop. And how many people we have around the world. Even this clean room, this plant to be originally built in Taif.
Where's Taif?
Taif. Because
Oh.
Taif is a cooler place. Imagine you don't need much energy to control such temperature. Our running temperature now is 18 to 21 degrees. Our relative humidity is around 55. So because temperature, remember, the environment factor is very big. But it so happened the king that time wanted it to be here in Taiwan. People telling him, the expert telling him, let's move it somewhere cold in the area, somewhere easier to control because it will take a lot of effort to build it. But we're already here. It's already established, and now we're number one in PHE, in nano fabrication. There was time that we become one of the top 20. So until now, we're still in the top 50. So you will be here couple of hours within the day, go out, you will be in your computer doing work, writing paper. Because production is different. Production industry, you are 12
Huge amount.
hours a day in the line. 12 hours a day, 7 days a week during that time. So the operator are assigned on specific station only. If I'm an operator of developer, I will be here 12 hours of my day. Maybe 11 because 1 hour is break. So that's how this industry working. We support staff. We just come in to experiment and give specific parameters to operators. So different product, different set of parameters, different set of everything, even wafers. That's why if we change something, we have a document called the 4M change. Environment is not part of the 5M change. 4M change because we don't change environment on one
Here.
facility. So if we change operator, we train them, we calibrate people. If we change machine, we train. If we change the batch of resist, we qualify per bottle, per batch. That's how it is being done. And here now, safety, I'm telling you safety. The last person that I heard died was in Taiwan, but she is using a hydrofluoric acid. The operator accidentally hit the bottle and was have it on her legs, so she died. It was in Taiwan. So we're always telling the students, we're not overkilling, we're just telling you based on our experience. So don't get us wrong. When we're telling you, wear your goggles. Because here, we might knock on you. What's goggles? Because it's not only us, we have safety group roaming around. You don't know their safety. They will just tell you, this guy is not wearing goggles, and then he will remove you from a qualified user in the game. Right? So it's for you, it's not for us. Okay? With this, it says first, we'll try to say, I like to get over quantities. baseline, depending on how you see your sample, you can extend to 1 minute, or some are even 8 minutes. You see the parameters, some are 8 minutes. So it depends on how thick and how deep is your energy being exposed. Start the timer when it is fully submerged. So
What is the main purpose of developer here? For
the
our-
developer
To remove
will
the-
remove the part, depending if it's positive or negative, we remove the part that's exposed, or we remove the part that's unexposed.
Okay, I thought while doing the UV itself it removes. Like
No,
we
no,
have to-
you have to develop. See, look now.
Oh yeah.
It is removing the part that you have exposed. See the reaction? Because we have a cross-linking. The purpose of the light is to cross-link the free radicals of your chemicals, of your resist. So when it's cross-linked already, this is where we remove those cross-linked particles. So it's the energy that cross-linked them, the free radicals being removed. See, but this one we will remove, and then afterwards, excuse me, I will put one back. Rinse it with the air water. The air water should be at least 30 seconds to refill. Almost done. Sorry. Then you have to dry it out. And let's do this. I'll dry it a little bit more. After which, you have to clean up your chemicals using the aspirator. Okay, for base chemical, we have aspirator. For some solvents, we have some waste container over there. So that's it's different way of removing chemicals as well. Because this base chemical, we have to neutralize before putting out into the wastewater treatment. Okay? So it will be neutralized. We have the abatement system at the back.
What is it called? As
Aspirator.
aspirator.
Lead 001, this one. Lead 003, that one. 005 is the contact aligner. 16, 17 is here. 22 is on the other side. The lead 022 is another contact aligner. Okay. I will give you access on that one as well because the same same procedure to expose that.